All right, so today we've been talking about overcoming adversity, and who better to talk to us more about it than award-winning author and motivational speaker, Marala Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Well, thank you for having me.
You are doing some great things.
That's right. And you know, you are one of Oprah's ambassadors of hope. Now, please tell us what that's about.
There's only 5?
There's only 5 of them.
Yeah,
And you're one.
Oh, it's a pretty big honor because what I was doing is after writing my book in our house, Perception versus Reality, I had gone through a horrific childhood. But instead of taking it and keeping it to myself, I decided to go out there and teach people how to overcome that adversity, which is what you were talking about today.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing when you tell people, instead of getting into an abusive situation, how do you prevent yourselves from going into that situation? And that's what I was teaching people, is how do you find the indicators of an abuser so you can prevent it before you get into it and find it's hard to get away from it. And she contacted me based on that, and it was incredible. So it's done a lot.
What is that like, getting that call from Oprah?
I know, right?
Seriously, how does that even work?
And here I am.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Wow. So, okay, you're all about helping people become a better version of themselves then. So can you tell us what's your advice, what's your best piece of advice, I guess, for people to do that?
Oh my gosh, the first thing you do is forgive people so you can let things move on. Let history go that's negative because it will burden you down, as it did me. And when I learned to forgive people and let things go, oh my gosh, my life opened up and you can focus on things that will help you progress more healthily. And you have to learn how to take care of yourself and invest in yourself. We forget to do that as women. We forget to do that as men and women. We have to learn how to watch our weight, watch our health, care about ourselves more so we can care about others.
Well, and I love that. So it's all about loving yourself instead of like the blame game of this is what you did to me. It's like, you know what, this is what's done. Just like we were saying, you know, things happen in life, and how can I now come out the other end?
You got it.
You're just a
I
wonderful
know,
example.
I know
Thank
you're
you.
speaking to specifically about abuse, but I think in general we tend to say that. It's that whole idea we always mention of the airplanes when you put your mask on first and then help others. So even if you're like a frazzled mom who just needs a second to herself, I think it's okay to do that and not feel guilty, right?
Absolutely. I tell people, you know, when you invest in others and helping others, you're actually helping yourself more than you even know it because you're taking the focus off of you and you realize how many other people have it worse sometimes than you do. And it allows you to say, wow, you know, I don't have it so bad. And that allows you to progress a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Definitely.
I like that. You talk about domestic violence and abuse, and I actually have that background as well. But one of the things that I like about it is you say when you move into your present to develop a whole new set of friends that are different from your past. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I do believe that a lot of times we have the ability to stay around people and talk about the same things over and over again. And when you're talking about your negative history, how are you going to let it go if you keep bringing it up? And so when you develop new friends and you talk about healthier topics that they don't know about your past, it allows you to progress in a healthier way. And it's amazing because you don't stay held, hostage to what happened, what was. So I tell women and men all the time, stop telling people your history so negative. Like, you have to, if you want to get it out, put it in a journal, write it, but let it go so you can breathe and connect with the future, a healthier future.
Well, you don't want that identity to follow you forever, like, oh, she's the abused girl, or like, I don't want to be known as the widow, you know? Like, yes, I lost my husband, it was 2 years ago, it was a horrible time, but I've come through it now, and I don't want, that's not my identity.
Absolutely, and people think that that history, it is your identity, it defines you. It does not define you. Let it go and go create yourself in a healthier way. I had to do it, I love it. If I had known this, I would have done it decades ago. And I do mean decades ago.
Well, you have another book, it's called Intuition, and we hear you wrote this one with your daughter, Alyssa, and it's about teaching people to avoid adversity altogether and just trust in their intuition. I mean, how important is that? Oh my goodness.
Intuition. Do you ladies believe in intuition?
Oh, I do.
Yes.
I really do.
I'll tell you the beautiful thing about it is that what you said earlier about overcoming adversity, you won't do it once in life, you'll do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, but it makes you stronger. And when I went through my childhood, it was horrific, but the beautiful thing about that was that I had brain aneurysms over 2 years ago. I was diagnosed with it, and in doing that, I had to fight that again to get my speech and memory back. And my daughter helped me write Intuition. She said, Mom, I couldn't read, I couldn't write, the most basic words I couldn't put together. So my husband said, why don't you go back to your passion and begin to write and do what you do best? And I said, I can't even, do this. And my daughter said, I'll help you. So we put Intuition together, which is based on my real life story. And Alyssa and I just went for it. It's great.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And
me.
you guys can find Marala's books in store now, or you can head to maralascott.com and get the info you need.